Good evening, everybody. Wow, wow, wow. The time has arrived. This is the moment. With you this evening is Refilwe Lehobo, and I will be your program director for this big, wonderful, exciting experience. So yeah, your program director as well as your host. This is exciting, and I hope we're going to have absolute fun this evening. I would like to take this opportunity for all our viewers out there for making time to be with us. Welcome wherever you are online, nationally and I suppose internationally. Isn't it exciting? I can't wait to see all the chats on our chat rooms. We are going live on YouTube. We are live on LinkedIn. It's exciting. And I would also like to take this opportunity to welcome all of our guests in studio. With us this evening, we have our board, or our chairperson or chairwoman, Ms. Ongoba Maseko. It's very exciting. Is it still Maseko? I'm getting it wrong.
You're going to get me divorced.
Okay. I just showed how long I've been around SAADP, so that actually is just an expression of showing the history that we hold behind this organization. And we are with our executive director, Ntato Silebi. Exciting guests online. We also have Ntate Thandanani Mbelo, who's going to be sharing this as platform with us at a later stage. Memangwe Sitole is also here to celebrate and on this exciting platform. We also have our alumni, who is an interesting surprise indeed, Mr. Amukhalang Khaladi. So on that note, welcome to all those who are present with us on studio. And all of you out there, our board members who are watching live, welcome. Thank you so much for making time to be with us. Our alumni, guys, you are dearly missed, but your presence with us on this important day, it's really important and symbolic. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And we also have our students, those who are current and those who have recently graduated. Thank you for being with us this evening. So this is a day that we've all been waiting for, the big day, our new identity launch day. This is a new dawn for us as the SAADP. It's exciting for those of you who have seen the brand online on our social platforms. Guys, you've seen it. It's something new, it's vibrant, it's exciting, it exudes, growth, it exudes energy and renewal. And we are also excited to unveil this big brand that will be a part of us, and yes, a part of the new beginning, a part of the new future that we are all looking towards. All right, so on that note, I'd like to say welcome to everybody, and I hope that we will all be having fun together. This is exciting indeed. Without any further ado, I would like to introduce our very first speaker for this evening. Our executive director will be joining us. And just to give us an idea of what led us to this moment. It's exciting, we're all excited, we want to hear, what the board feels like, but we actually want to know what the visionary thinks, and for him to also just give us a glimpse of how we got here and what this means for us. I'm sure you all would like to hear what's in store for us. So our executive director, Mr. Ntato Silebi, is with us in studio at this moment in time. We've been warming up for days now on end, and this is the moment that we've all been waiting for. So he is basically going to share with us the context of this rebranding exercise, but most importantly, the context of how we got here, right? And what today means for us and what is in store for us as the SAADP. As our students have recently said, the new Gen SAADP. Well, we've got a new word there, all right? So I hope this evening we will be going with hashtag new Gen SAADP. All right, so let's hear it out to our Executive Director, Mr. Ntato Silebi. Sir, welcome this evening.
Thank you very much.
It's exciting times.
It definitely is. I think one of those moments that you picture, but when the moment gets here, it gets a bit overwhelming, but we're excited to be here.
Yes, and approximately 20 years down the line, and we are now facing a new dawn. So what does this mean for us?
No, thank you very much, Refilo, and thank you for an awesome introduction. I think part of what we are hoping to shed light today is that SAADP is not dead. SAADP is very much alive. SAADP is very much relevant. SAADP is on a very strong growth trajectory. It has the very rich history to back it. It has excellence, it has success in its history, and that bodes well for the future. But allow me firstly to say thank you to the SAADP board for trusting us in this exercise. As I said, because SAADP comes with a very rich history of excellence and success, and therefore allowing us to do this exercise must not have been easy on their part. And so I want to thank them for trusting us to do that. Refilo, it's very important that an organization, an entity has a very strong brand, because the importance of a strong brand sets that entity and that organization apart. And as you've just alluded to, unfortunately, over a long period of time, SAADP hadn't necessarily embarked on that exercise. And we wanted to make sure that we understood what the market today is looking for, what the youngsters today are looking for, and how we best position the entity to be better going forward. The brand tells more than just a story about an organization. It speaks to a whole lot of other aspects, which we will get into a bit later. But it also speaks of renewal. And I think one of the things that led us here is that we wanted to make sure that there was an opportunity for SAADP in its very important work to be seen to renew itself, to understand what the challenges are today as they might have been 20 years ago, and how it was going to begin to approach that. And a brand strategy is key to that aspect. It means that if you have the right kind of brand strategy, you have with you elements that are going to support the work that you do in trying to make a difference. Being within the NGO sector is also a very challenging environment, an environment where there's heavy competition, especially in terms of raising funds. And if you are not able to set yourself apart, it becomes very difficult for you to raise the kind of funding that you really want to be able to do. And we needed to actually get into what the brand now represents going forward in its message, in its identity, to be able to say to those who are sitting with the checkbooks, this is the organization that you want to be involved with. Allow me also to thank the team in large part, because coming in as the new executive director and saying to the team, this is an exercise we must go through, must have been quite a bit of a shock for them. Must have been very overwhelming, but they trusted the message, they trusted the vision, they trusted the thinking behind it, and literally supported the idea and supported the exercise 100%. Their hard work and their commitment shows in what we've been able to do. And for me, it again speaks to the kind of organization that SAADP is, that although the work might not always be seen, you have very committed people that stand behind this brand. And we wanted to also be able to have something that shows what that is. I want to also just quickly thank the partners in this process, because Brand Code, Corazon Consulting, A1 Marketing and Media, by coming to the party and allowing us to be able to do what we're doing today. I had to stop myself there because I was about to divulge certain things, so I had to kind of hold myself back a little bit. But for me, that partnership and that understanding of where we as a brand were and where we need to go was critical in those three entities to support that and to be able to advise us and to make input and to guide us through the whole process. So I want to be able to say thank you to them in helping us. And then lastly, a number of alumni that I've spoken to that have reached out to me. I want to also thank them because in their words, they are very excited about the renewal. They're very excited about the new brand. They're very excited to see this organization out and about again. And that in itself is a vote of confidence. And I want to thank them, and I want to also challenge them to come on board and to reach out. We've got a couple of initiatives that are coming up where we are definitely going to need their involvement as we make sure that the brand goes out there as much as possible. So it's an exciting day. It's a very for me, it's like birthing a new child, even though I can never give birth. This is as close as I'll ever come to that aspect. So we are very, very excited, and we're looking forward to the work going forward, and in particular to unlocking greatness in every actuarial science student. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Wow, that is so exciting. I mean, every time when you speak to this incredible gentleman, you get new insight. I told you earlier on, we now have new vocab. We're talking new gen SAADP. Actually, by the way, the other time we were visiting our various campus, and he's called the new guy. So one of the other exciting words that have come out of this is the SAADP ecosystem. We wouldn't be where we are had it not been of our various stakeholders contributing in special ways in every aspect of this organization to make sure that we are here. And I'm sitting and I'm thinking 20 years onwards, and look at us, exactly just like an eagle. We have taken out our feathers and we are starting anew. We are refreshed, we are re-energized, we are regrowing, we are part of a completely new ecosystem. And honestly, with all of this, with us facing a rebirth in this new identity, it wouldn't have been possible had it not been of the patience of our board members, but most importantly, if it were not of the vision of our chairperson. I mean, this phenomenal lady is a very important part of our historical or rather history, and she still sits here, and she's been part of every milestone that we've experienced in the SAADP, and this evening she's here, as we take on a new path, as we take on a new flight into the next 20 years, 50 years maybe. Well, I'm hopeful. I guess this new colors, this new brand definitely exudes hope. It exudes excitement, And yeah, I mean, I would like to hear from her, because honestly, had it not been of her insight and her patience and her, her leadership, we would not be here with excitement, with hope that definitely we are renewed and we are moving forward into a new phase. So the chairperson, Ms. Ongoba Vuba. Ms. Ongoba Vuba, who is our board chairperson, is here to give us a response really into a bit of a strategic insight that our ED has already shared with us, and really to reiterate this new dawn and to say, where are we going, and I think this is actually just more than just a launch. This is a celebration of our achievements, an acknowledgement of where we've been, and a celebration of the new baby, hashtag New Gen SAADP. Miss Vuba. Miss Buba, I'll have to get used to that. Your response, it's exciting. We have hundreds of our alumni, we have our stakeholders online. We've got everybody, we've gained everybody's attention. Because I remember when I first went to a first exhibition, and and I was there with new colors. But the words were saying SAADP, and everybody was like, new colors, but
sure.
Who are you? So really, how did we get here? Your response to everything and to today.
Yeah. Thank you so much. It's always so amazing to be with you people who have known me since I was a child, literally. So the interchanging of surnames is fine, it'll be forgiven. Yeah, exactly. I think, goodness gracious, what a journey it is to get here, not only for individuals, but for this organization. And I think if we make it personal, it means a lot more. The big thank you that goes to the team that's pulled this off, and the big thank you to the board who's supported us on this journey. If I use a personal story, in 2005, SAADP was 2 years old, and I was found at a high school in Germiston. And in 2006, I ended up being, for the first time, an SAADP student. Fast forward 2024, I'm feeling very old, but it's okay. Fast forward to 2024, for me, 2024 marks 19 years of being in some way or form part of South African Actuaries Development Program, and a journey of dusty student in high school who doesn't know any better to a professional working in corporate South Africa, effectively making a difference in the different ways that many alumni do. Yeah. A personal journey of ending up at university, making a massive transition, knowing that university education was not an option. Really, it wasn't. I always say, I didn't celebrate when I got accepted to WITS. I celebrated when I got accepted into SAADP, because there was no celebration of university acceptance without funding. And I think I share this as a person who's walked this journey and ended up mentoring other students and giving back, adjusting on campus, having parents on campus, our coordinators at all the campuses, finally graduating when some points it didn't seem likely, and entering the world of work and becoming an active alumni for this program. That 19-year journey, that example of a story, is multiplied by multiple hundreds of young people, alumni of this organization between 2003 and effectively 2023, who've graduated every year and walked out into the working world. And I think it's important for us to always connect back to why we do what we do. Many organizations don't get to celebrate 20 years. Many organizations never get to see a brand refresh because they died with their previous brand. And I think just taking a moment to celebrate that is important. And as you say, the celebration is not just for a brand relaunch. There are many, many things in the works, I know, with the new executive director and his team supporting him, that will land not just a new brand, but land a continued job to be done in transformation in the actuarial profession, and will land a very powerful position that this organization, SAADP, continues to play in that transformation journey. And while it's these individual stories, it is the collective as individuals of what we've been able to achieve in this organization more than 20 years later. So I really think, yes, it's a brand relaunch and we can celebrate that, but I think there's so much more we're celebrating here. There's a renewal of an organization that has made it to 20 years, has been such a strong contributor to the transformation of the actuarial profession and continues to be in this country. And sometimes is quiet about it, working quietly, contributing to the profession quietly. And I know that's changing. And I think there's going to be a lot more loudness in the role we play in this profession in this country, dare I say, on this continent. And I think that's an important one, because we're often in conversations where we're asked, isn't SAADP's job done? Haven't we done what we said we were going to do? And if we revisit and kind of go back to, and it will be unveiled later, around the mission of this organization, we're far from done. There is still work to be done. And this brand refresh is really a moment for us to re-energize and continue with the job that is to be done in this country. And doing it in a way that is something we can be proud of another 20 years from now. It's doing it in a way that makes sure that we are advocates for transformation in this profession, advocating for the child that was me in 2005, who never would have ended up studying actuarial science, advocating to the 2 other alumni that are going to be on this program and the hundreds of alumni who are probably tuned in watching this. And there is more of us out there. The new gen SAADP guys are out there needing this, and we need to make sure that we're a worthy advocate for transformation, and we need to make sure that we are surrounded by partners that can walk this journey with us. As we reflect on the past 20 years of this organization, there are key partners that have walked most of that journey with us. And it would be remiss not for us to mention Sasria, who has been with us from day one, and by far has funded majority of the needs of this organization and the students that we support. And really, being a partner-led organization, as the executive director has spoken to, there's a job to be done. And really what we are is a convener of partners in order to make sure we deliver on that job to be done. So I really think, let this be an invigoration, but also a challenge to all stakeholders and those around us, to our board, who have walked incredible journeys with us. I have sat on this board, I don't even remember, my gosh, probably since 2014 or something. I've had the privilege of being chair of this board since 2018. We've walked tough journeys during COVID, during changes in the funding landscape, and we're still here. And I would be remiss not to thank our board and those who have served and moved on, and those who currently serve on the board. I think it would be remiss not to kind of say the partners, the challenges out there, from a public sector perspective, from a private sector perspective, who are major partners of ours, from our partner universities, current and upcoming, from the students we work with, from our alumni, and the very important role that alumni needs to play. I really think this refresh means you pause, you catch your breath, and you get ready to run the next marathon. Because as long as our profession still sits in a space where me walking into an actual convention has to pass many, many, many people before I find another woman, or has to pass many, many, many people before I actually find an actuary who is of color, shows that there is much work to be done. And clearly, based on the success and pass rates of the students on this program, the color of the person and the gender is not a predetermined predictor for their likelihood to succeed in this profession, which means that there are other factors. And we are taking up again the baton for another 20 years to crush those challenges
Yeah.
and open the door to more transformation in this profession,
Yeah.
which is a necessity. It's not an optional extra, but it is a necessity.
Yeah.
So I really want to thank our new executive director, who's coming on a year of being with us and has taken us on a ride. We love it and we look forward to more of that ride. And I really want to thank the team
Yeah.
who work at our universities in the office quietly while impacting students on a daily basis, like yourself and Mr. Mkize, who literally have been around. I found you guys there as a student and you guys are
Giving it away.
pretty much there. So I think you guys are the unsung heroes who've been with this organization for so many years, and I just think let's keep an eye open for what's coming in this space. And I think a challenge to all stakeholders to say the job is not yet done. This is a pit stop, but transformation is still an imperative in our profession, and that race is not yet finished and not yet won.
Yeah. Lovely. Remember I promised fun? And this is so insightful and very strategic, of course, coming from our chairperson. But out of interest, I just wanted to ask you, from our brand colors, what color resonates with you the most? And what excites you about it? And how do you see that color linked to us, into the future?
Sure, that's an interesting
pretty
one,
good.
but I love it. She always does this, so it's good. I mean, it's such an emotional connection to brands, and I think sometimes we underestimate what a connection it is. I mean, as a silly story, there's a couple of alumni, many alumni out there, myself included, who have the Sprout trophy somewhere on a cabinet that we got as a gift from the program when we graduated. And it's been such an association to the brand for so long, right? If I look at the new brand, my goodness, the energy, the vibrancy. If you ask me about the color, it's interesting because I think it's actually the combination and mix. But if you force me to choose one, I would say the bright, feisty orange.
Oh, yeah.
And the reason why for that is that it reminds me of a sunrise.
Amen.
And the start of a new day.
Yes.
It reminds me of the start of a new journey, the start of a new chapter. It reminds me of the possibilities, I guess, that exist at the start of a new day as kind of the rebirth of this organization. And it makes me excited to see the sunset, which is that moment when you celebrate all you've achieved in that
Correct,
day again, before the sun comes up again. Just continuing, but I'd say the bright orange because it signifies sunrise and the start of a new chapter.
There you have it, the bright, feisty orange. I mean, renewal, energy, a brighter future, which is where we are headed. And I mean, taking that from someone who's been with us, like she said, 19 years of the 20 years of this organization. And definitely, I think also the orange also excites me. I don't know about you at home. So on our chat groups, do let us know which colors resonate with you. Do let us know what excites you. Do let us know, from the two talks that we've had, what really gives you hope, what talks to you, and I hope that our numbers are also increasing as as time goes on, because this is indeed an exciting day, an exciting event. As we went on this process of rebranding, in the background, a lot has been happening. We went through a strategic meeting, and documents after documents were generated. Hence, earlier on, I explained that for a longest period, all of us as staff members, all of us as the SAADP community became aware of new words. Earlier on, I mentioned the SAADP ecosystem, and then I also mentioned the SAADP New Gen. And another exciting word that always comes up on our brand is definitely growth. And I think that's exactly where we are headed. As our chairperson has rightly said, this is time for us to get onto the next level. Definitely not going back, but definitely growing into not only a new identity, but definitely growing into a new movement, a new phenomenon, and wait and watch the space because more is coming, yeah? And, we said this is about celebration, right? So as we celebrate, what's the best way of doing that other than always including you, our alumni, or on this platform, and wanting to hear from you what these new changes mean to you, and what do you see as well in the future as our alumni. And really, it will be so exciting to see all of you back on board as we are moving towards growth, as we are moving towards unearthing potential in the actuarial profession. And to share a bit more with us this evening on what the general community out there feels about this new brand is one of our alumni, Mr. Amogelang Khaladi, who's also been with us for some time, and he also holds a lot of history with regards to the SAADP. I mean, you name it. The one that directly comes into my mind right now is the fees must fall. He was very key and instrumental in that process. He was instrumental in making sure that some of the benefits that are out there in terms of the SAADP, that today you as our alumni, you are heard, and that some of the processes happen. So he's here with us.
Thank you.
Good evening.
Good evening. How are you?
I'm well, and yourself?
Well, thank you so much.
Yeah, to also, say a bit in terms of this new brand. I know earlier on before today, there were lots of mixed emotions around this brand. And you are here just to give us more insight into the brand. You've had time to also acclimatize with it. And here we are today, so you can share much more in terms of one of those people who hold history with us and who I know are dear to your heart. Am I correct in saying so?
No, 100%.
Yes.
SAADP, of course, is one of my homes that I've found over the years. And thank you so much for having me on this very exciting evening where we celebrate the launch of the new brand. I think you raise a very important element here around how myself and a number of the alumni sat at the heart of the previous brand and now moving into this new journey that we embark on. And initially it was, they always say that change is slightly uncomfortable, right? So of course, a lot of the memories that we've built and generated along the way were in relation to the previous brand. But I understand the significance of the new brand that we have today because it signifies so much as well around a SAADP that is undergoing growth, that is undergoing a renewal phase. And you spoke a lot, for example, around how I was involved in Fees Must Fall. And the reason for that was because I've always felt that no individual should be excluded on the basis of that. And SAADP plays such an important role in enabling that, unearthing rough diamonds. So when I look at the new brand and the color schemes, it has a very earthy color scheme, right? Which to me signifies the significant role that SAADP plays in unearthing bright, rough diamonds that it then goes on to polish and translate into the professionals that you see sitting here before you today. So I'm very excited around the path and the journey that the program is taking, and for us as alumni to undergo this journey of growth and play a significant role as well in driving that change agenda.
Exciting indeed. So, I mean, it's been a journey, correct? And I remember, a few weeks to today, I went out there just wanting to hear from our various students how they feel about the new brand. And the responses has been, it's exciting. It's bright because it's more on what they see virtually. But my interest is with everything that you've experienced up to date with the SAADP, but more on a tangible side. What do these new colors mean to you? And what does this new identity mean to you on behalf of our alumni?
Thank you very much for that. I think if you pay attention to the logo and the brand, there's such nuances but also very subtle messages that come through, right? So you see, for example, the lines that go through in the logo, which of course signify the analytical capability that actuaries embody and how SAADP helps unearth that. You see what I would say the mountain for me, which signifies growth, right? And how SAADP also enables individuals to go through what is a challenging time and to reach the peak of that. So you would know if you're going up a mountain and you're trekking through it, you'll face challenges along the way. But for me, SAADP plays a significant role in individuals and students self-actualizing towards reaching their peak of their careers, of their professions, of their lives. I mean, if I look back at where I am today, I always say that I wouldn't be here if it wasn't because of SAADP. So as a result of that, that logo to me signifies that journey, which is filled with challenges along the way, but you climb to the mountaintop and from there you reach the pinnacle of who you are as an individual. Now, as you look at the colors as well, the bright orange signifying growth, the blue, which signifies life, right? And that to me are things that I would espouse with SAADP. It really enables the growth of an individual. I came in, you would remember many years ago, as an individual who was very shy and reserved, and the developmental element of the program and the growth that I've undergone along the way is what I resonate with in this brand. The life that you've given to not only me, but individuals around me who, because of where I am today, I can enable. And that for me is the blue colors, because you know that water is such an important component to life. So I see this new brand as a demonstration of the new trajectory of growth, of life, of development, of analytical capabilities that SAADP will continue to embody and create and enable into South Africa. And I'm excited to be part of that journey.
Exciting indeed. Just before we move on to the next speaker who would be joining us online, just one last word of inspiration to the SAADP new journey. And that goes to our, this is a new beginning, and we have our first years and those, that cohort that is currently within the system. That word of inspiration, because here you are today, you're sitting as an alumni, and I'm sure they would really like to know what all this change means to them. So if you can just leave them with one word of inspiration to say, hey, this new logo, this new brand, this new identity, take it on as our ambassadors and move on. So what would that be that you will leave with them?
All right, I will draw on a quote that sits very closely to me. So as I speak about climbing to the mountaintop, right, you don't land there within a day. And I think to get to the mountaintop, I'll leave you that as individuals, you are repeatedly what you do, right? So excellence can never be an act, but it should be a habit. So to be able to reach the peak of where you are destined to be, you should pursue that excellence, not as an act, but as a daily and consistent habit, and ultimately you'll attain your goals and aspirations.
There you go. We are indeed unearthing the actuarial potential. You've heard it from Mr. Amogelang Khaladi himself. I know so many of you really miss him, correct? And whenever you see that face, you get excited. Our 2020 insurance apprentice, was it 2020?
Yes.
Our 2020 insurance apprentice definitely holds a plethora of experience and information around consulting and the actuarial world. Very exciting indeed. Our next speaker will be joining us online. She's not particularly vibrant, Ms. Noma Kabiso Machila from the Liberty Group. She will be representing our sponsors. Honestly speaking, we spoke about an ecosystem. The SAADP would not be what it is largely if it were not of our general sponsors in the likes of our SAADP, definitely Liberty. And I know for most of our students, Liberty is definitely home of employment. Am I correct in saying so, Ms. Noma Kabiso? When our students approach graduation, they get excited if they are holding that Liberty employment contract. You have really cared for us for many years. You have been so good to us, and you have served as a backbone of this organization for the longest period. So on behalf of our sponsors, can you please take a few moments to share with us what this big day means to you? Over to you, Ms. Noma Kabiso.
Thank you, Sis Rapilo. I mean, it's been a privilege to be part of SAADP partnership. I mean, to witness the journey that they've been involved in terms of socioeconomic development, really developing individuals from extreme need to be economically included. So what I can say is that I highly appreciate the involvement of each staff member. The excellence, I mean, I cannot say it any further, the excellence that each staff has, the passion that they exude in really developing society's future leaders, the selfless act of being there for every step of their tertiary life, and not just the education side, but also the psycho support, right? And having sisters like yourselves, Refilwe, like Abu Zintle, and Abu Mtobi, and Mkize in different various institutions, being there, being the sisters and mothers and brothers, and really the dads, those that they cannot rely on. I mean, some of us cannot rely on our families, and we have extended families that God has given us, which is SAADP. So I do know, I mean, as an actuarial specialist myself, I know how grueling the qualification is. So for me, with this rebranding, I'm really looking forward to the new look and feel of doing things. And to me, it really symbolizes growth and wisdom that you really can't continue to do things the same way. And it talks about reinventing yourself is really key, given that there's a high level of expectations that stakeholders and investors have. So it's key from now and then to really relook and rebuild, to be able to adopt to the new ways of doing things. I mean, when you look at the SAADP brand, SAADP is like really synonymous with excellence and quality as opposed to quantity. So I do appeal to the likes of corporates, whether private or public sector, to really rally behind them, because we really can't. I mean, 20 years has been a milestone. I mean, really, we are thankful to the likes of Mamuno Kwanda, who's been there for the first 20 years, and the team that is still there. I like what Usongoba said, talking about SAADP has been really contributing to the transformation. And it's exactly that. The company, it's an NGO. It really needs a lot of support, so it cannot do without resources. Especially, I'd like to appeal to the alumni. I mean, when you look at the need, of our society. We really need actuarial qualification. And I mean, what I really like about SAADP as well, beyond the qualification, sometimes if students cannot make it through the actuarial route, but you find often they're able to graduate with mathematics, they're able to graduate with economics. And those are the essential skills that as an economy that we need. So I'm really looking forward to this, and I'm looking forward to also to the leadership of Ntate Silibi, and I want to say, I mean, when you look at the color orange, I actually didn't know that one of your colors would be orange. It really talks about optimism. I mean, if you look at orange, happiness. It really talks about healing if you're looking at spirituality. So I'm here to say that let's support, let's rally behind them. And I want to really call on all the alumni. That is, I think, one of the things that we need to start doing, we need to create a fund that will come as a resource from the alumni, because we all know that the jobs that they get, they super exceed the average salary of the economy, if I were to put it like that. So if we could have that fund that really comes from the alumni, not just the resources that they bring, the skills that they bring, but I do think for SAADP to see beyond another 20 years, we really need support, and financially. And I think when we look at, I mean, we often talk about what we call ESG, environment, social, and governance. SAADP also needs it, especially in the social space. If we want SAADP to develop and really help in the socio-economic and the extreme need, I mean, when you look at SAADP, it's not just funding you for your tertiary institution. There's a psychosocial support element when you need certain things that your parents should have done or your family should have been able to do, but SAADP is there. And I mean, when you look at the stuff, I often worry and look at the development. I'm hoping as alumni, we're looking at them and see, have they developed? Because we've developed. I mean, the previous alumni that was talking about how they were not what they were currently. They're able to speak, they were shy then. If you were to look at the likes of Uzindle, do you think they have developed to where they are from where you found them? So let's also look at those type of resources. I really love SAADP, and I think for me, I'll rally behind any company that is exceptional, that looks at beyond quality, and at beyond liberty. I always say to other companies that I've been from to say, can we really support, because this is the skill that we need, and I'm looking forward to this journey. Thank you so much, Sister Phil.
No, thank you so much, Ms. Nomagabi. So honestly, your dedication to this program, your commitment as Liberty as one of our sponsors, you know, it goes without even saying. And I can see, I mean, you like you're saying, your commitment even shows in that you aligned with the colors, and you are saying you didn't prepare that. But I've seen your commitment as in Liberty for the many years, for the past years. And like I said, it's out of this world. Hence, even when we get to the period of graduation, our graduates become so excited when they hear the word liberty. You have incredibly been supportive to the growth of this nation. And you have been very key and instrumental in making sure that that change that is much needed within the actuarial profession, in reshaping the landscape, in redefining the demographics, that you are key to it. And we hope that as we are facing renewal, as in from this period, hoping and looking forward to the next 20 years, that you would indeed continue to be our committed partners moving forward, or rather partner, and absolutely cannot wait to see what we have in store, or rather planned with regards to our alumni activities. This is something that has been on the desk for many times now, that we are planning to really rope in our alumni, because this is it's a renewal, it's a new phase. We need absolutely every single stakeholder within the ecosystem to be involved, to be part of these exciting times, to be part of this renewal. Thank you so much for making time, Ms. Nomakabi. So finally, the big moment has arrived. And this is the main reason why we have gathered this evening, the brand unveiling. It's exciting, it's something new. We've all seen glimpses of it out there. We are all gunning for the orange, I see. Exciting, right? And yeah, so we're gonna take this moment to finally understand how we got here and what this brand is all about, and what this orange stands for, how we got to all these colors. And who better again to unpack this for us, to unveil this great moment as in our new identity, other than our visionary, Mr. Ntato Silebi. I mean, everybody has said 1 year onwards, here we are. We now have a new identity. We are carrying a new baby. We are excited. All of us in the studio aligned to the colors. And that's just how excited we are with this new identity. And I was just thinking that, identity is such a strong concept. It goes beyond just a brand. It's so deep. It's ingrained in our bloodstreams, in our veins. It literally, especially for those of us, and I know even our stakeholders out there, for those of us who are that passionate about the SAADP, who are that committed about the SAADP, we definitely take this identity very close to heart. But really, if you may please unpack it further to us. I remember there was one alumni who I said, so what do you think a few months ago when we first came out? And he said, I don't get those lines. What's that mountain all about? So today, at this moment, we get to really, really understand what are all the graphics about, what the actual concept is all about, and really what this identity says to us. So, Mr. Silebi, over to you as we launch this our new identity and a brand that we will be going around proudly so, representing and being ambassadors thereof. So, it's your moment. You got us here.
Thank you very much, Rafida. And thank you to everyone else. And I'd like to reiterate our thank you to Nomad Klabiso from Liberty, and along with all the other sponsors. I want to be able to say thank you for their support. But we are here today to do the unveiling, to show and to launch, more importantly, our brand and our identity. I think it's very important for our audience out there to understand that a brand is more than just a logo. It's more than just the colors, the visual design, the vision and mission. It's about an identity that is very distinct. And we have been very, very fortunate to have worked with partners that understand that and that sought to get that out of us. So in that respect, without wasting that much more time, let's see the video that speaks to our identity, and afterwards we'll be able to unpack it a bit further. Well, ladies and gentlemen, there it is. That is the new brand identity for SAADP. Going forward, all of that which you saw being previewed on that video are the things that you should be looking forward to and how we should be representing ourselves. As I indicated before we saw the video, we are going to unpack all of that a bit further. Allow me to introduce to you Mrs. Mankwe Sitole, the founder of Brand Code, the organization that assisted us in being able to come up with what we've come up with. Mankwe, welcome, and please explain to us, take us a little bit further, what the thinking was, what informed Brand Code to end up with the colors, the lines, the logo, and everything else that we got the chance to see.
Well, thank you, Mr. Silebi. I'm very excited to finally be here and to have the opportunity to, I think, formally share this reveal with the world. You know, when you're working behind the scenes and it never feels like it's going to see the light of day, but what an exciting moment. And I think credit to you and the broader team for the courage, and I say courage deliberately because brand development is a process of self-discovery. And often it's easier actually to go to a corner graphic design shop or printing shop and say, please design a logo for me quickly. And I'm glad you didn't go that route, because a brand identity is not just a logo. Yeah. It's a sum total of who you are as an organization, what you stand for, and most importantly, what you seek to do in the world. Yeah. And what it also does, it unifies the organization under a collective understanding, yep. Right? And it enables strategic direction, because I always say that it's almost, it's a decision maker for you. You know quite quickly what to participate in and what not to get engaged in, right. Because it sets the tone. And we went through a quite detailed process with the team, and there were moments that were quite uncomfortable for them because they had to bear the soul, so to speak, on the table. And our role as Brand Code is to extract that out of our clients or our colleagues, really, to say, how do you want to represent yourself in the world? What is the impact that you seek to make? Yeah. And beyond the design and the colors that the world will see, there has to be a story that anchors you as an organization. And the story was, and it was quite, I won't actually say exact terms, but we decided in that moment that we wanted to be change agents.
Yes.
And we needed to be comfortable in the ideology of being a change maker. And part of being a change maker is that you've got to be bold. Yeah. You've got to be uncompromising. And in a country like ours, where there are a lot of children who are sitting with talent and not enough opportunity, you've got to be very stern and strong and forthright about that goal. And we set the tone in that workshop sessions, and we said we wanted to change the landscape. Yeah. And in order for us to change the landscape of the actuarial society, we've got to nurture talent, right? And it was that essence that really brought us where we are today, where we've got this lovely brand identity that you're seeing as a logo mark. But really the story came from that, to say we want to be active agents of change. We want to create more than just creating thousands of actuaries. We actually wanted to create an ecosystem of actuaries who are not only going to graduate and go into formal employment, but are going to come back and become the funders of future generations, right? So that was quite critical for us in the process of discovering the essence, the meaning, the story, the strategy. The colors, incidentally, come after. And I said this to Mr. Zilebi, and I said, if you want a logo, you've got to walk out. Because we are not in the business of creating logos. We are in the business of really creating brand strategy, articulating who you are, what you stand for, and what is that change that you're going to make in the world. And once we established what that mission was, what that greater transformative purpose was, we then were inspired, incidentally, by the great speech. And it's quite funny when I hear people's interpretation, and I've been waiting to now give you the real story of how this actually came about. And the real story really is that the premise of the idea came from the great speech by former President Thabo Mbeki, "I am an African. I owe my being to the hills, the valleys, and the glades." And it really was there. It's, if we are going to change this landscape, look around us. Who are we trying to benefit? We are benefiting African kids, African children who have the potential to do great. And that was the starting point. And then that's why you will see the landscape, the African landscape. And I think in the video it sought to articulate the different aspects of the brand identity. It was the landscape as the foundation, the African landscape. Then it was the A in actuary, the A in African. And not only that, then we progressed to say, well, what industry are we in? Because also your identity has to reflect your greater sector, right? And we are in, beyond just the mathematical aspect of actuaries, it's the decisions that they make that shape and progress society. And therefore the graphical aspect, the lines that you see, are not only reflective of the landscape, but they're also reflective of the progression, change, from a numerical or a commercial perspective. So all of that combination came together to really give us the identity that you see visually. And like I said, the brand or the logo mark is a reflection of your story, and that really was the story behind it, to say, if we're going to be change agents, we need to change the landscape, and this landscape is the landscape that we as Africans are so lucky to be in. And in terms of the colors, really, we wanted to be disruptors as well, right? We needed to be true to that disruptive mindset to say we're going to change. You can't change quietly.
No.
Yeah.
You've got to arrive in a room, right? You've got to arrive in a room and be seen, be felt. And the color orange really speaks for itself. It's a color of optimism. It's a color of sun, the African sun. It's a color of courage. So it was all of those things that came together, and then anchored by the blue of the sky, the African sky, the blue of the ocean. I mean, you can interpret it and go to town with it, but those were the core elements really that spoke to how we came about. And also trying to modernize the identity to say, how do we bring it into the more modern digital world? The shape is shaped like a button in terms of a digital button, the shape of a button. That's why it's not purely square. It is reflective of technology, and for it to be able to be fluid, digitally fluid, that it can live on an app, it can live on a website. And so it is quite flexible and broad in how you can use it. And I always said, and I was having conversations with Mto, who's part of your team, who's your head of marketing, that we are also in the business of creating a visual language. We don't create a logo and walk away from the logo. We want elements of the logo that we can play with. How do we help this logo find expression, whether it's digitally, whether it's on your print work? So we created this dynamic language that I am so excited to see today, how it's found expression, how you're going to own it going forward, and let it live, and let the students make it come alive, and carry it, and not only carry the visual identity, but carry the meaning. That at the core of it, you really are about nurturing this potential for greatness. And the words were also quite deliberate. Because at the essence of it, what it is that you're doing, you are really untapping talent that is sitting there dormant, waiting for someone. I mean, when I was listening to your chairperson, Mrs. Vuba, her story, that somebody had to believe in her. Somebody had to give her a chance in the world. And that's really what you're doing. And the fact that she came back to invest and re-give herself to the system, that is really the essence, I think, of the story.
No, I think for me that is fantastic, and truly appreciative of the efforts of Brand Code, because at one point I actually didn't think you were going to hand it over, because you had invested so much in it. But I think what I appreciate in terms of your work and your team was that it wasn't just another client. It was literally trying to make sure that the story behind SAADP came through.
Yeah.
What is it about? What does it do? What does it intend to do? And not taking away from all the other aspects that Mankwe spoke about, but truly trying to fully understand what we are all about. And for that, I'm very grateful. And thank you very much to you and your team. Because once the colors were out there as a team, we were very, very proud. We walked with a bounce in our step. And in terms of all the other elements where now we are able to show this identity, we are very, very happy. So thank you very much to you and your team. And
thank you for trusting us. There's always that, isn't it?
Yes. So thank you very much, and that's it from us. That's the brand. That's who we are, and that's who we intend to be going forward.
Correct. I really just to express this, I was also humbled by how Brand Code even could capture the spirit that we've always worked with. I mean, if you even ask any of our alumni and our current student, we are always expressing how we are family and how we should be family. And you know, even in your expressions around the brand, the last core part to your wording is community, right? And I mean, I was blown away by that. Like, look at this. They could get that. All right. And honestly, this is the moment. This is a moment for us to embrace this new identity. This is a moment for us to take on this brand and really not just wear it when we are in public, but have it as part of our being, especially for those students who are currently in the system, who really are at this point in time key role players in making sure that this is not only a brand, but it's a living brand. And for those alumni who are still a part of our ecosystem, to make sure that they are our ambassadors out there in the world of work, take this brand on and make it your being, because that's all, you know, that's all that we're all about. Remember that family spirit that we've always been going with in the 20 years, and now we're saying go community, go community. We are now saying hashtag SAA new gen SAADP, hashtag new gen SAADP community. We need you today more than ever. This, I mean, we will not carry this new identity without you out there. You know, and I know every time when we go on a new branding phase, everybody who's involved will be like, "Where's the T-shirts?" So when are we getting T-shirts? When are we getting pens? But I urge you that as we even go through that process, that really you become a part of this new exciting phase, this renewal, this new community. I am so excited. I cannot wait to see what is still in store, really. And I think this brings us to an exciting moment. Questions. So it's question time. Out there in our community, those of you who have joined us online, this is your moment also to be heard. Our ED is here. We've got our guests in studio. So if you do have any questions that you would like to ask, this is your time. I just want to read some of the expressions that have been shared online on our YouTube channel. One says, this brand, it looks amazing. It's Upumzile, the girl next door, Patedi. She says, it looks amazing indeed. Well done, team. Yeah? And Tebo Mohajani says, This looks lively.
Yes, that was intention.
So Memankwe says that was our intention. So you are saying it looks lively, and it speaks of the future that is bright, a bright future indeed.
Definitely.
Dade Silebi. Tebogo, thank you so much for those exciting news or words. Someone has a fan, Usodi Tato, says, big shout out to Mr. Mkize. So, Mr. Mkize, I know you are with us online right now. There is a big shout out to you. And yeah, Salima Murebi says, big ups to Sasria. I mean, honestly speaking,
Yeah.
they have been a backbone of this organization.
But
they were there from inception. Any word to say, Mr.
Yeah,
Silebi?
no, without a doubt. And I think one of the things, and I was glad that our chairperson referred to Sasria in more specifically, but many of our sponsors, our funders, who have made sure that this organization stays alive, to be able to provide us with the backing to even do this exercise, for me is great. But definitely Sasria has been the cornerstone of making sure that SAADP continues to do the work that it does. And in that respect, we will forever be grateful, and we will continue to do work. And I'll give a big shout out to Mr. Kikwe there at Sasria and his team for continuing to support us.
Exciting indeed. One of our board members, Ms. Michelle Abrams, says, love the SAADP merchandise. I love it too. Who doesn't? I would love to support the brand. Thank you so much to that, Miss Michelle Abrams. And yes, Matule Maleroto says, absolutely brilliant premise for the rebranding. Thank you so much for all these positive comments. And we have one of our old colleagues online. Hi, Belly. Belly Anderstein, who has been key to our journey. It's exciting to have you with us online this evening. She says, I am proud to be associated with the SAADP and will wear the merchandise with intent. So next time when I come to Cape Town, merchandise will be on your way. And as the questions are rolling in and the comments are rolling in, I also would like to say this rebranding, this new phase in the organization is coming with so many exciting things and activities. For most of you who perhaps don't know at this point, even our operational premises have moved. So for many years we were in Kilani. Prior to that, we were in Parktown. And just to show you the vibrancy of this new brand, we are now located in Sandton, Ilovo. And today I'm inviting you, although the security protocol is rather strict, but do pop by the offices for some coffee. They've got brilliant coffee machines. I'm telling you, this new phase of this organization is exciting. So we are now located in Sandton, Ilovo. I suppose the head office staff will be very excited to have you pass by, just so you can get the feel of who we are. And more to our comments. Khunzi Sikitla is online as well. Khunzi is one of our old alumni. So proud to have you online. And he says, well done to everybody involved. Brand Code, thank you so much. So the brand launch, exciting times ahead. Looks like we're all looking forward to
No, we
those
definitely
times.
are. We definitely are.
Okay, so perhaps let me just take a question that was asked earlier on, not necessarily at this point in time, and I will direct it to you, Mr. Silebi. The question is around, yes, this is exciting, all right, and we've got a new brand. You know, though I would know most of the student body would like to know what does the future hold for us. Much as we are now rebranding, we have a new identity, you know, we have new officers, and it's exciting to see that even our staff identity and posture goes with this excitement, all right? Though, you know, when we get down to the core business, what does the future hold for the SAADP in our students, in our alumni, in our community, our stakeholders, sponsors, the ecosystem? Over to you.
You know, Refilo, thank you for that, and I think that is a question that we have fortunately have had the opportunity to think about, because part of all of this which we're doing forms or contributes to that vision. So the rebrand is not isolated as an activity. It forms part and parcel. One of the things that we want to be is more visible as an organization. Mankwe articulated that a little bit about how we are looking to be finding this untapped talent. Mrs. Vuba spoke earlier about the fact that she was one of those beneficiaries. So with the new brand, with the new identity, means more visibility. And we've already started on that. We've been to Venda in Limpopo. We've already been to Richards Bay in KZN. We've already been to Soweto. We will be making a number of trips to various activities across the country. So part of it is visibility. Secondly, it means that you're going to see growth within the organization. We need to be offering more bursaries. In order to offer more bursaries, it means we have to partner with more corporates who are going to be supporting us. It means expanding the reach of SAADP. We're looking at expanding to the other 4 accredited universities, University of the Free State, Stellenbosch University, University of Johannesburg, and Northwest University. It means partnering with our CETAs. So in many ways, the experience for many of our students with this new vision, this new revitalized energy and everything else means a better experience of SAADP. But ultimately, we want to ensure that the route to qualification is realized in greater numbers. So for us, part of the work that we will be doing will mean getting involved in that space from between graduation and qualifying. Because right now that's another space where we are not necessarily touching. So there are a number of opportunities, there are a number of areas that this new Gen SAADP is all about. It's about making sure that ultimately the work of SAADP continues and grows. So in a nutshell, that's what I would say. But also to alumni, for instance, in June, July, we will be attending, we've been invited to the SAICA Maths Development Camps. There's 11 of these camps. They're all taking place around the same time. We don't have the capacity to be at all 11, and that's where the alumni come in. There is an alumni from the Free State, there is an alumni from the Eastern Cape, from the Northwest, from Limpopo, from Mpumalanga. Make yourselves available to be able to go reach out to many of these other new learners who are very interested. So this means a bit more work for all of us. There are radio opportunities, there are interviews. There's a lot more to say. Mankwe spoke about it. I think as SAADP we've been shouting in the dark for way too long. Actually not shouting, we've been whispering in the dark for way too long.
Yeah.
Now it's an opportunity for us to be bold, to be proud, to get out there and be able to say what it is that we're doing and how anybody else can take hands with us.
On point indeed. There you go, you've heard it. Our alumni, our stakeholders, there's a need for all of us to hold hands together. As it is said, it takes a village to grow a child, and here we are with this mammoth task here we are with this newly born child that we need to nurture together to growth. And really, it will be exciting to see all of us put our hand up to make sure that this much needed and looked for growth does take place. Ms. Mankwe, one last question to you. So earlier on, when we're engaging with Ms. Mankwe, a question I asked was, how do we make sure that we remain relevant and we are out there visible, definitely for the next 20 years. I'm not even gonna say for the next year, because we would really want to see us, sitting here 20 years down the line and celebrating more milestones. As it is already, we are celebrating an incredible statistic in all those students, or rather our fellows who are now qualified actuaries, and we have surpassed that 100 mark in terms of that, and that's remarkable. So how do we remain relevant in terms of this brand, and we make sure that in the next 20 years we now surpass the 100,000. Am I wishful thinking? Is that wishful thinking?
No, that's good thinking. That's the kind of thinking I like.
Yes.
Well, brand relevance really speaks to sustainability, right? And beyond the future relevance of what the brand looks like, it's more important that your mission as an organization is sustainable, that in 20 years' time, that you will look back and reflect the growth as you crusade towards that mission. And what will carry the relevance is if the organization's intent is in tune with the needs of society. And I think that is really, for me, what the big message from a brand perspective is. If you're constantly aware of this crusade that you're on, it will force you to be relevant, because you're looking at how does you keep saying SAADP, and we were all saying SAADP, and I'm trying to reflect this new way of you saying it.
Still SAADP. Still
but
SAADP.
I think what it was important when we were forming the strategy is we wanted to create an ecosystem, and a self-sustaining ecosystem, meaning that the child that gets the bursary becomes the future funder. And so the cycle continues, and that's where you really create brand relevancy. It's beyond what the brand looks like. It's more the intent of the organization. And if that stays intact and stays aligned with the changes and the needs of society, you will always have a place, I think, in the world.
And the sign off under the brand, unleashing actuarial potential.
Yeah.
Please give us insight on that, because that's so catchy.
Yeah, nurturing.
It says exactly that we have stopped whispering.
Yes.
To unleash, that's a big word.
Yes.
Please talk us through that.
Yes. So, I think at the core of it, we wanted it to reflect what it is that you do, because it has to freely and independently state on your behalf. When someone looks and reads your brand ethos, and then we don't like calling it a line or a tagline, we want to call it an ethos, because that's what it is. You are nurturing potential for greatness. And I think I mentioned earlier on that it was really about being able to identify that potential, and not just identifying it, but putting it in an ecosystem that it thrives. And thrives for the betterment of society. And that's where the greatness came in, because you don't know what a child in grade 10 has the potential to become. And unless somebody pours something in that child, pours an opportunity, pours time, pours mentorship, pours something, and that's really where it came from. It was that act of service to communities out there.
Incredible indeed. These are the exciting times once more again. Thank you so much once more to Ntato Silebi, our Executive Director, and Ms. Mankwe Sitole. I hope this is not the last time that we'll ever see you around, because one thing with the SAADP family, once you get into our doorstep, you will never leave. We are warm like that. Yes. So that's it. I just want to share more of what is being said online. Ms. Manda Ngegenene says this new brand is definitely visible. Thank you so much. That is our intention, to be visible, to remain relevant, and to stand out. Ms. Patek Bonyonyo, who has also been a part of us for many, many years, says brilliant launch and rebranding. Absolutely love it. This is one of the most humbling ones. Amahle 4098 says, looking forward to joining the SAADP family one day. There you go, future actuaries in the making. Amahle, it will be absolutely wonderful to have you as one of our family members in the future. And I've got Matulo Maleroto again saying, refreshing to hear, what is that, a specific mention of the often forgotten graduation to qualifying area by the ED. Excited for the new journey with the SAADP. Thank you so much for all these exciting and encouraging words and and statements from you. It feels great that today we are celebrating as family. This has been exciting, it has been significant, and I'm sure also impactful. I mean, we have Amahle, who definitely would like to be a part of us very, very soon. And it's also exciting to share that our marketing initiatives have been happening, as Mr. Silebi has mentioned earlier on, that a few weeks ago we were as far off as vendor. So yes, it's we will be out there going all around the country nationally. It's always exciting to meet, but then when it's time to say goodbye, it's sad. So just before we say that, we say our last goodbyes, we have with us one of our board members. He also was or is our alumni actually. He is also our alumni and now serves on our board. How incredible is that? Indeed, we are unleashing potential to a point that our very own alumni become our board members. We rock like that. So we've got with us this evening Mr. Tandanani Mbele. Yep. Who is going to be closing for us. And thanking all of our stakeholders for the past 20 years and those who have taken time off their busy schedule to be with us this evening to share on this brilliant and great identity, launch.
Yeah.
And he's just going to say a few words in closing. Over to you, sir.
Thank you, Refilwe. It's a great honor this evening to be here and just to show our appreciation and our gratitude for everyone who supported SAADP. I was told that there's also a slight reveal today as part of the brand consistency. I know at some point in the past at Wits University, we referred to the program as the SAAD program, sometimes SAADP, and at other places it was SAADP. But I'm told that from today onwards, it is now just SAADP, so that's the consistent one. So as I said, I came today just to show our gratitude and say thank you. First of all, thank you for hosting us. And then thank you to the ED and the team at the office, everyone that's involved, Mr. Kumete, Zintle, and everyone there. A lot of work has gone on in the past year to get to the point where we are. The close collaboration with Brand Code as well, who really took the brief and understood what the program is about and understood what we're trying to get to. I'd also like to thank our sponsors, as you've mentioned, those that have been with us from the very beginning. I'm talking about Sazria, I'm talking about Liberty as well, just to mention a few. And those that have joined recently that are going to be with us going forward. That also extends to the alumni who always make themselves available. That's including our board chair who was here with us today, and Mr. Amu, who was also here today. So thank you again. But most importantly, I'd just like to thank everyone that's joined online today for this big reveal. Without you guys, we would have just been talking into a void. So thank you very much, and thank you for the engagement as well. Thank you.
Thank you so much. So this brings us to the close. And just one sentence, thank you, honestly, to our patrons who have made sure that we've come to the first 20 years. And our leadership that has been there in the past 20 years. We wouldn't be here without you. We wouldn't be celebrating this new identity that is now leading us into the new phase and new renewal, which is very exciting indeed. So honestly, you have also been key to this journey, and we wish to take this opportunity to thank you. And with that said, this brings us to the end of our program. You can still continue to engage on the chat group, although our chats will be closing very soon. Just to say that maybe a last quick closing comment to our current cohort. From the board's perspective, what will be that last inspirational word that you can leave with them for this, this evening?
I think just having seen how the alumni comes back and supports, there is a saying often attributed to a former US president that says, ask not what you can do for your country, but ask not what your country can do for you, but what you can do for your country. In this instance, that can truly apply to this program as well. And I'd just like to say, when you are part of the program, you are part of a family, and we always appreciate that family, that bond, and that assistance that the alumni often brings, and even the graduate, as you work through the program, the assistance that we get from everyone, and then the support that we give each other, that is what truly sets this program apart from many others that are just bursaries, for example.
Thank you so much. Maybe I'll take this, because everybody's excited. We just don't want to go off screen. Yeah. A K-Fire 243 says, all the hard work has paid off. I know you work closely with the staff at head office, especially with the auditing. So it does, someone here does acknowledge our hard work. Thank you so much, K-Fire 243. And Ayanda Macheta says, inspirational. Thank you so much. Again, our colleague, Billy Anderstein, she says, thank you all. Your engagement has been infectious, beautiful, and meaningful. It's really, wonderful to hear all of this from all of you. Matule, did I read this one? Refreshing to hear specific mention of the often forgotten graduation to qualifying area by the ED. Yes, absolutely, there's plans around that. Yeah. For more engagement, because our vision still remains that we would like to see those qualifying numbers increase on an ongoing basis. I know I set a challenge of 1,000, We are now at 104, but it will be so lovely to see those numbers increasing. And indeed, it is our mission to make sure that we are there to support you and to make the most of everything. So shout out to Corizon, and that's all. Tesh L says, so exciting. Thank you so much. Exciting indeed. And I think that's it. Good evening from us. Good evening. Good evening. And thank you for joining. Thank you for joining.